What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to today's episode of Solutions. So, honestly, I've been seeing a lot of young black kings with like women. So, today we're gonna be talking about interracial relationships. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy the video. First, I want to start with a disclaimer. I do want to say that I am not for or against interracial relationships. It is important that when I'm going over this, I'm specifically talking about black people with white people specifically. As far as that, I immediately have to say if you're going to be in an interracial relationship, you have to make sure that you're instilling black principles into your children, just because we know historically the white man has purged black history from our communities. So if you're going to be a black man with a white woman or a black woman with a white man, you have to make sure that you're instilling black culture into your children, because we live in a society where it's almost been shamed for you to conduct yourself in black culture. Honestly, like, you rarely see black women wearing their natural hair nowadays. Like, there was literally an ordinance, like a law put in place in Louisiana, like black women had to straighten their hair because the white women were getting upset over how attracted the white man was to the black woman. And now it's like, it's almost normal for everybody to be flat ironing their hair. Now, I have no words as far as that. That's not what this video is about. But what I'm addressing is how black history has been intentionally purged from our communities and how we've become complacent. You can't be complacent in an interracial relationship. Yes, you're going to catch heat from the black community, honestly, as you should. But, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to do it, you have to be intentional, because school ain't going to teach them about black history. If they don't go to an HBCU and take African-American studies, they not going to know who they are. I don't even know what country in Africa I'm from. I got to go take a $300 DNA test to figure, or whatever the DNA, ancestry, whatever those are. Like, I don't know what country I'm from. And it's like, as you get into these interracial relationships, if you don't intentionally pour that black culture into your child, what they're going to do is, say, using the black woman and the white man example, they're going to see, okay, my mom chose a white man. So what are they going to do? They're going to go and they're going to choose a white partner as well. Now, what God has for you, that's what's for you. But in my eyes, in order to give that child a fair chance at what I believe is preserving the black community and them making an informed decision, that's like I'm telling you, oh yeah, Porsches is the best car on earth. Porsches is the best car on earth. But had you had an even knowledge base, had I educated you on the different types of vehicles, you would have went and you would have bought a McLaren. You know what I'm saying? Like, give your kid a fighting chance, because culture is a much more serious concept than vehicles. Like, this is specifically for black Americans, if you haven't noticed. Honestly, it may apply in other countries as well, but I know it's prevalent in the black community here in America, put it that way. I'm Chicago, Illinois. We stay in a country where you have to water down how black you are. I'm not talking about being ghetto. I'm talking about your natural roots. I'm talking about you being good at music, you being good at dancing, you enjoying your people, like what we naturally listen to, how we naturally conduct ourselves. Ebonics, that's partly ghetto as well, but you can talk professionally with an accent. It's about how you present yourself, but there shouldn't be an absence of your black excellence in order for you to be viewed as professional in a corporate setting or a professional setting in general. Like, that's survival. Like, coexisting is survival. Like, you don't want to just coexist, you want to thrive. In order for us to thrive, we have to tap into who we are. This video is not to be political, but I can say that we see that they're trying to rescind some of that black history, like Harvard rescinding the slavery remembrance program. All of that has to be taken into consideration when you rearing your child. Nowadays, you can't even rearing is raising. You can't even raise your child the same way. Like, if you spank your child, they want to call DCFS, or your son get into it with somebody, they say his nose big, or he bullying me. Like, no, like, raise your son to be a masculine man. And like, the woman has to allow the man to be the father. The man has to allow the woman to be feminine. Like, y'all have respective responsibilities for that child. And as a black person, regardless of if you're a man or a woman, it is your responsibility to make sure that they understand that you're not who they portray you to be. For example, I'm in a construction program right now, and we were at a institution's facility, and God intentionally told me to wear my locks down. Now, this is a relatively professional setting. Yes, I had on construction clothes because it's basically a construction setting. We going in and out, and the executives are speaking on a panel. We sit in the crowd, whatever. And as we're leaving, there was an individual, he was Hispanic, and it was a white woman that asked me, wanted to pick my brain. Being one of the last individuals to leave, you're expected to speak to everyone on the way out. So I'm speaking to individuals, they were managers, head managers, some of them, they were speaking over the panel, basically going over how they all had 4 to up to 30 years in the company. I'm speaking to them, they're not even looking at me. Even if you didn't hear what I said, you know that I spoke to you because I'm one of the only individuals here. But because you're a Caucasian man that has experience in a professional setting, and I'm a young black man with locks in a program that you may or may not care for just because your employers told you should do it, that's telling me that it's not in our best interest to allow this country to groom our children. It's not good enough for you to put them in a good school, in a good community, because you marrying outside of your race and then moving outside of your race almost guarantees your child to date outside of their race, to marry outside of their race. One thing that's huge, which is sort of a side note, is bringing marriages back to the black community. One thing that I can say is every panelist up there had a ring on their finger. That's something that has to become more prevalent in the black community if we want to seek success, whether you in an interracial relationship or not. As you all may know, everything that we do on this channel is solution oriented. So I got a few gems for y'all. It seems simple, but one thing that's really huge is pay attention to the kind of music that you playing around your child. In addition to that, one thing that's even bigger than that is intentionally show them TV shows and movies with strong black leads. And watch the movie first yourself, because they be trying to push all types of subliminal messages on kids nowadays. So watch it yourself and make sure the message that the movie is portraying and the way that they're portraying the black leads is a way that you want black people to be communicated to your child, because children are sponges. So they're going to see it and they're going to receive it. They may not understand it, but they're going to know, oh yeah, so-and-so, they're going to remember it, and there's going to be a resonance. They're going to tie a correlation between that character and how they depict black people in real life. One thing that's mandatory in my eyes is historical black movies. Now that sounds kind of boring, I ain't gonna lie. Good examples are like Judas and the Black Messiah, the true story of the Black Panther, Fred Hampton here in Chicago. You have Malcolm X. It's basically I believe it's like a biography, autobiography. I don't know the difference. Honestly, I forgot. But I know it's based on the true story. Also, you have Selma, the story of Martin Luther King, and another good example is Harriet, the story of Harriet Tubman. All of these are based on true stories, and if you don't tell that child who they are, someone else will control the narrative. Someone else will control how they perceive black people. So I think that was a WA for us to close out Black History Month. So with that said, make sure y'all like and subscribe, and any ideas that y'all have, if y'all feel as though you have a contradictory perspective on what I said as far as the black community, interracial relationships, drop that down below, because I will literally come back and address it, where everything is solution oriented. So if you say something, maybe I didn't articulate it properly, like speak, because if you don't speak, I won't know how to pour into you all. So make sure you comment that down below and have a blessed day.